Right, this is Unit 6, Plan and Prepare Gym-Based Exercise, Learning Outcome 1. This is Scott Bowman and Louis. What's their name again, Louis?
Mitchell.
Louis Mitchell. Alright, so Learning Outcome 1. Know how to plan and prepare gym-based exercise. 1.1. Explain the importance of careful and thorough planning and preparation for physical activity.
Well, that's easy, isn't it, really? You've got to come prepared, wear correct equipment and clothing, act professional at all times. You've got anything to add, Louis?
You've got to make sure it's thorough, and you've got to explain to the client what everything is, so there's no injuries.
Right, 1.2. Outline the needs and potential of the clients, including reasons for and barriers to participation in the activity.
Barriers to participation could be
Pregnancy, elderly, they could be ill, they could have an injury,
disability.
they might not be confident, so you'd have to boost your self-esteem and keep motivating them.
Good. 1.3, leading on from that. Describe how to motivate clients to take part in exercise.
Take part in exercise. Could give them rewards or something.
Go through the goals with them and see what they want to achieve.
Anything else?
Rewards.
Rewards, goals.
Motivate them and always just
How might you motivate them
stay
then?
positive with them and tell them they're doing good.
Right, good.
Don't put them down.
1.4, describe exercises that are safe and appropriate for clients, including alternatives to potentially harmful exercises.
Like you start off with like cardio based exercises, and you do like bodyweight exercises, so there's no serious injury. If they feel confident, then you go into like barbells and dumbbells and machines and so.
So what might alternatives be for different types of exercises?
Like resistant bands.
Resistance bands instead of using what do you reckon?
Weights.
Right, okay.
And like just on the treadmill instead of running, or like stuff like that.
Right, so you got resistance bands, right? 1.5, identify safe and effective alignment of exercise positions.
Of exercise positions.
Yeah.
Does that mean like how we're done correctly?
Yeah.
Just go through when you're telling the exercise, go through them thoroughly so they don't injure themselves, and make sure you've got all the proper research yourself so you know what you're doing.
Could use diagrams as well.
Diagrams.
Research or PowerPoints off the internet or.
So effective alignment of exercise positions. So what might that mean?
It being like
how to perform exercise correctly and stuff.
yeah.
So think of an example.
Like for example, doing a deadlift, you have to like.
Yeah.
You've got. You always start off with a lighter weight so you can get your form right and never go too heavy, so you can build it up.
So what sort of angle might your legs be at when you're doing a
Shoulder
squat?
width apart.
So shoulder width apart, and then when you're coming down, bending down.
Bend your knees and keep looking.
So what sort of angle might that be?
Like 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
90-degree angle. 1.6. Describe how to plan to use a range of cardiovascular and resistance machines, including free weights, barbells, dumbbells, collars and benches.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Describe how to plan to use a range of cardiovascular and resistance machines, including free weights, barbells, dumbbells, collars, benches.
For example, just go through it with them beforehand, before the session, at the start.
Tell them everything to do with.
So how would you plan to use cardiovascular machines?
Like treadmills, cross trainers.
Research
them and do it yourself and make sure you're doing it right before you show the client.
And then what about resistance machines?
Same, really.
What might be easy to find out what a client's something is on a resistance machine rather
Do
than...
like 1RMs and that and just see what's works for them and what don't.
So why might that be easier on a resistance machine than barbell?
To prevent injury.
So what sort of exercise might you do on a resistance machine rather than...
I don't know.
You could do 100 metre row
Yeah.
and record the result.
Right. So going back to that 1 rep max, can you think of a machine that you'd normally use instead of something else?
Chest press instead
Right.
of bench press. It's
Right.
a lot safer.
It's already
Good.
set up as well. So.
Yeah.
Why is it important to use the collars on the sides of the weights?
Oh, what?
The collars, the clips.
Oh, clips.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, weights that come off.
So weights don't come off, yeah? What else?
Weight stones prevent injury from the client as well.
Make sure I've got the right weight on each side of them. So there might have a 20
Yeah.
and they might have a 30. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Make sure it's level.
And then what
Yeah.
happens sometimes when you take the weights off, say off a bench press?
It could fall and hurt the client.
Yeah.
But what might happen with the bar?
Or it might.
Say you got 40 aside.
Let it fall off. Wouldn't it?
Yeah, so what might you do? Would you take one side off straight away, or would you balance it out?
Balance it out.
wouldn't it?
Balance it out, somebody helps you. Right. Okay. Right. We now come to know how to collect and analyse relevant information. 2.1 then. Describe the screening process and the factors which affect the ability to exercise.
So there could be different things like say before pregnancy, elderly age. They might be ill. They might already have an injury. So you'd have to go through it with the client before you did the exercise and ask them, and you'd have to go through a sheet and say, have you got any illnesses? Have you got any
PARQ and stuff.
PARQ, good. What's PARQ stand for?
Physical activity readiness questionnaire.
Good, you pulled that out of somewhere, didn't you?
I did.
2.2. Identify the information needed to plan gym-based exercise and describe why this information is important.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So, why is it important to have the information to plan a session, and why is this important to have the information?
So you know what you're doing for the session, you know what the client's needs are, what the goals are, the targets are. You can do smart targets with them as well.
Right, good. 2.3. Identify the range of different methods that may be used to collect information, including questionnaire, interview, observation, and physical measurements. So why might it be important to do a questionnaire or interview your
To
client?
see all the different things and if they've got any, what the goals are, what's holding them back, if they've got any injuries, or
I'll fit
if
that
they're
out.
capable. Yeah.
What sort of physical measurements might you do with them on them?
What, like a physical activity? Like a bleep test?
No, so what sort of measurements might you have to do on your client?
Like body weight,
Body weight,
BMI,
BMI,
Yeah. Height.
height. Good. Okay. 2.4. Identify reasons for temporary deferral of exercise. So why a client might stop exercising.
Might
not
get-
motivated enough.
Yeah. Might
Motivation.
Get,
What else?
might find it's not working for them.
Work.
Might not be working for them. Whatever
Might
they're doing.
not be working. What else? Time.
Injure themselves.
Injury. Good.
Cost.
Cost. 2.5. Identify why it may be necessary to refer the client to another professional,
Because they might want something that you're not specialised in, but somebody else can offer them a better job.
such as what?
Say they're wanting, I don't know.
Physical therapy instead of like just a normal gym session.
Yeah.
Or like, what's it called? Yeah, physiotherapy.
Physiotherapy.
Yeah,
I like, yeah, stuff like that.
disabilities as well, and cost. You might cost too much.
Describe the purpose of the informed consent. 2.6. We're still on track, lads. Come on, let's keep going.
Describe the person involved consent.
Informed consent, like if you're saying, say to a woman client, it's on a squat, and he's like, alright, I'll spot you. And you have to get behind him.
Yeah.
Obviously not groping him, but you have to get behind him. And if you say you touch the ribs, they might get a bit funny about that. So you need to say
Sexual
to them,
harassment and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Right. So
Can I say that takes you in places.
what might the person have to have filled in then before that then?
You need to write down things that you could be doing.
CRB.
CRB.
CRB form.
You have to be writing down things you can do. Say, do you want to do this? And
Yeah. Good.
Just make sure you're legal to work with clients,
yeah.
especially if they're underage as well.
Good. Outline the emergency procedures of a facility or organisation. 2.7.
Health and safety around the workplace.
Such as what?
Like all equipment checked before. It's
Yep.
all up to date.
Yep.
And, like fire exits and stuff like that.
What else? Fire exits.
There's fire exits. There's
What's the one that's quite unlikely to happen?
bomb threats.
Bomb threats. Yeah.
Anything horrible.
Emergency procedures, Louis. Anything?
I don't know.
Anything else?
On their behalf, emergency procedure.
So say at a leisure centre,
Yeah.
sort of emergency procedures, or if something
Could be a
happened.
flooding, if it's been raining. You never know. You never know, do you?
Flood risk, yeah, it could be.
Um,
So what might happen if,
broken
say,
equipment. There could be broken equipment.
so what might you have to do then? So say you've got to get everybody out of a centre, what might you have to do?
Emergency exit.
Or what's the other word begin with an E?
Evacuate.
Evacuate, right?
Evacuate the building.
So how might you do that then in a safe way?
Get all out in single file. Get
Yeah,
them out
have
to
an
the
assembly point.
designated area.
Have an assembly point, good. 2.8. Explain the purpose of the physical activity readiness questionnaire or PARQ and how to record and interpret the information provided. So why do you do a PARQ, what do you learn from it, and what do you do with the information?
You find out all their goals and what's holding them back, and then from that you can do a program that fits the client.
You know, like health needs and stuff like that.
Health needs, what sort of health needs might a client have?
Like asthma, something.
Asthma?
They could have something serious going on, like they could have cancer or something.
Right.
A disability or some kind.
Disability.
No, because people could be coming to you, so
Yeah.
they're terminally ill, and they're just trying to prolong their life a bit.
Right.
Good while they last.
Yeah.
So serious illnesses. So if somebody did come with cancer, what sort of things would you be doing?
Deadlifting.
No.
It's like light exercise really. You couldn't really put full intensity exercises. Just
Right.
stuff like jogs on the treadmill and stuff. Like using lightweight sessions.
Yeah,
Kind of
like bodyweight exercises, crunches and stuff.
don't go overboard with it.
Right, and also seek, you know, what else might you have
First
to
aid
seek?
on the scene as well.
First aiders
Yeah.
or other what? So somebody comes into your gym with cancer, they filled it in the PARQ, what might you have to do?
Get like an ambulance on ready or something.
Or who might you have to speak
One
to?
of their relatives.
Relatives, who else? Somebody, doctors, alright?
Doctor, that's it.
So yeah, if somebody doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do any exercise, but if somebody with such a
If they do,
serious
might pass
illness
out.
came, you've got to obviously refer it to who. Might have to ask who.
The boss.
Or they'd have a what? They'd have
The first aider.
a first aider or even a surgeon
Surgeon.
who they're working under. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4, know how to plan a safe and effective gym-based exercise program with clients. 4.1, explain how to identify and agree objectives for a program based on collected information.
For example, like if you do questionnaires or something, you need to know all their needs. Like put that all into the session. Like if they want to do weights, design a weight program specific to them.
And then where would you record it?
So you can go back and say what we've done and so what you're happy with.
Logbooks,
See what
Logbooks.
you can improve.
internet,
Internet, record it down.
Word document.
Where would that be kept then, their program?
And the in your own company archives.
Or system somewhere.
Yeah.
Alright. Would anybody be able to access it, or
It'd been like a safe storage unit place in the.
so what's the proper name for that? Name begins with a C.
YouTube, that's where ours goes.
With a C.
Con. What's it called? Where it's kept out of the way of everything.
Confidential.
Confidential. Right, there we go. Describe how to use a range of equipment to achieve the client's goals.
Research it thoroughly first and go through it with them. Make sure they can do it.
Right,
Like
what
so
else?
to get like an overall fitness, you might want to use like weights, then another week go on cardio, and then like go on resistance machines and stuff like that.
So you think to when we went in the gym, what was that called, that sort of training?
And cross training work.
CrossFit, cross training, good. 4.3, outline the health and environmental factors which can influence safety and group or individual working space. So health and safety as a group or individual when they're working in the gym.
Know if any of the groups got like any health problems, that they all not use the equipment correctly and stuff like that.
Right, and then individual working space. So say somebody's doing weights on their own, what might you have to watch out for?
Spot them.
Spot them. What else?
Like if they're not using the equipment.
If they're doing it right.
So what's that called where you show them how to use the equipment?
Demonstration.
Or before you do that, when you show them around the gym?
Introductions.
Induction, yeah?
Induction.
Gym induction. Describe why is it important to agree goals with the client. So why is it important to agree the goals with the client? So client comes in, they've got certain goals, why is it important to agree it with
So
them?
you're both working on like
Certain level.
the
So
same level.
give me an example of that then. Think of a client who might come to you with goals, certain goals.
Right, I want to build his stamina up or
For body
fitness
muscle.
levels. So you say we'll do a lot of cardio work and like treadmills, cross trains and that, and go through it with him and make sure that's what he wants to do and if he's alright doing it.
Right. Describe how to record plans in a required format. So how would you, so say a client comes, they want to do a 6-week program, how would you record that?
You do it on a sheet like you do a
Logbook and stuff like that.
a weekly like.
Record the
Program.
results now.
Record the results, why?
So you know
So you
how
can
they're progressing.
go back and improve.
Right, good. 4.6, outline risk assessment and management procedures. So risk,
You need to go through all the risks that can happen
Yep.
with a client and make sure that's alright and try and avoid it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then what about management stuff?
Make sure the building's like up to scratch and stuff, like all the equipment's within.
And then if something
Standards.
happened, what would you do with the management?
You'd have to go take it further and see. Well, you'd have to see about complaints and that. Yeah.
Right. Or where might you record certain incidents?
For
Right.
proof.
Yeah, so what's it called where you record them? So like a something book.
Incident sheet.
Incident sheet, accident report book,
Accident report book.
yeah, stuff like that. Okay. Explain the consequences of failing to manage health and safety. So what might happen if you don't? Injuries, what else?
Failed business.
Failed business,
Yeah.
what else?
Suits.
Fired.
Get fired yourself, what else? So what might happen to the business?
Go bust.
Go bust, what else?
It gets a bad reputation.
Bad reputation, and think about something else.
No business.
Clients won't achieve anything.
But then what might happen to the company? It might get what?
Put under.
Or sued,
Suit,
Sued,
yeah.
yeah.
legal, yeah?
Compo.
So why might that happen?
Well, you just said if you don't
Broken
just said-
equipment, the client's using it.
And then they might do
Sue.
what? Sue.
Get more
Right.
injured.
Okay.